What if I told you that, unknown to many, the original Parol had nothing to do with Christmas nor Christianity? The Filipino Parol, or Christmas lantern that we see today, is bright, colorful, and full of life. It is the most iconic symbol of Christmas in the Philippines. And if you ask Filipinos today, the star shape of the Parol represents the Star of Bethlehem, the bright star that guided the three wise men, aka the three kings, to the place where Jesus was born. And throughout the centuries, the Parol has stood as a beacon of the triumph of light over darkness. But what if I told you that this iconic lantern was actually originally meant to honor the dead? Mabuhay! Or in Kapampangan, luwid kayo! Welcome to my channel, it's me Kirby Araullo, your friendly Pinoy historian. And as many of you requested, today's video is the long-awaited expanded version of the videos I made about Parols many years ago. But before we dive in, I'd love to know what Parol means to you, or if you have any fond memories of Christmas in the Philippines or abroad, let us know in the comments below. You know, I myself grew up surrounded by parols, making them, hanging them, and seeing them light up our community. And as a Filipino historian with Kapampangan roots, the parol means a lot to me, more than just a simple Christmas decoration. I mean, I still remember making my first parol, my first traditional parol from scratch. You know, this little boy in Pampanga using bamboo sticks that are just stubbornly refusing to cooperate, leaving my hands full of splinters. But you know, despite these splinters and scratches, for us, parol making is more than just a craft. It is a tradition deeply embedded in our culture, connecting us to generations of our people who have carried on this practice through the centuries. So today, we'll explore Parol's history, you know, from its deeper pre-colonial roots to its transformation as a beloved Christmas icon. Okay, so let's begin with, the Parol that we all know today. You know, these bright dancing lights that lights up Filipino homes and Filipino streets during Christmas. The Parol is one of the most beloved icons of Filipino Christmas. These lanterns light up homes, streets, and barangays with vibrant colors, intricate patterns, and a glow that embodies joy, community, and creativity. Indeed, hanging a Parol is a tradition passed down through generations, celebrating the artistry and, ingenuity that define our cultures. You know, from the humble star-shaped lanterns made with bamboo sticks and delicate papel de hapon to the towering displays adorned with LED lights, the Parol has continually evolved. For many, it symbolizes a guiding light representing hope and the triumph of light over darkness. And across Pampanga, lantern making is celebrated and elevated as an art form, with communities crafting intricate designs that blend tradition and innovation. Indeed, the city of San Fernando, known as the Christmas capital of the Philippines, plays a leading role in this legacy. San Fernando's annual Ligligan Parol, or Giant Lantern Festival, showcases breathtaking lanterns, towering lanterns that can reach up to 20 feet or more. And these giant lanterns are synchronized with dazzling lights and music, earning San Fernando's recognition as one of the world's top Christmas destinations. Now, historically speaking, this legacy of the Parol, as we know it today, can be traced back to the Kapampangan artist Francisco Estanislao, who in 1908 crafted star-shaped parols using bamboo, candles, and papel de hapon. His simple yet striking design set the foundation for a tradition that has evolved into a national icon, aka our modern-day parols. But this history is somewhat incomplete. To truly understand and appreciate our parols, we must travel back in time, long before the arrival of Christianity in what is now the Philippines. Francisco Estanislao is often credited with inspiring the colorful, illuminated parols we know today. But his lanterns were not created in isolation. They were part of much deeper traditions. So long before the arrival of the Spaniards, our ancestors held a deep spiritual connection to light. For the Kapampangans, light was central to Daon, our Thanksgiving offerings to the ancestral spirits every harvest season, an indigenous tradition observed during the cold months of Amian. During Daon, families offered food, prayers, and light to our departed loved ones, believing that lanterns illuminated the path, serving as a bridge between the living and the spirits of our ancestors. Lanterns lit during Daon symbolized life, hope, and protection, while also reflecting a deeper connection to the divine and Mother Nature. The word parol comes from the Spanish farol, meaning lantern. However, long before this term was introduced, indigenous Kapampangan terms like sulugi, sumbu, sulu, and paritan were already used to describe early forms of lanterns. These indigenous lanterns were crafted from native materials, with simple yet meaningful designs that eventually evolved into the parol. And these lanterns come in different shapes and sizes, not just the 5-pointed star that we are familiar with. Some stars had 7 to 8 points, some lanterns were square, while others were rounded. And many of them featured ornamental tails like the bito-bito or iki-iki, swaying gracefully as they were carried during the lubun or processions. Unknown to many, this actually reflects a shared tradition of using light or lanterns as a symbol of hope and connection. In fact, across Asia, similar practices include India's Diwali festival, celebrating the triumph of light over darkness, Japan's Obon festival, where lanterns guide ancestral spirits back to their loved ones, and the Loy Krathong of Thailand, where floating lanterns on rivers signify gratitude and new beginnings. And these are just a few examples. Indeed, this pre-colonial use of light resonates in our modern traditions, such as lighting the candles during Undas or Day of the Dead. And if you think about it, the emphasis on community, spirituality, and creativity during Daon laid the groundwork for the parol as we know it today, as an enduring symbol of art and culture. Although now associated with Christmas, the roots of parol are deeply embedded in our indigenous spirituality. And to be honest, for me, lighting candles during Daon will always remind me of the enduring connection between tradition and community, between the living and the spirits of our ancestors. So, what exactly happened when the Spaniards arrived and brought Christianity onto our islands? Let's find out. So when the Spaniards arrived in what is now the Philippines, they introduced Catholic practices like novenas and Misa de Gallo, which soon became cornerstones of Filipino spirituality. And during nighttime processions, lanterns were used to illuminate the path, symbolizing faith and guidance. But as mentioned earlier, these traditions did not emerge in isolation. Indigenous practices like Daon eventually merged with Catholic influences, creating uniquely Filipino expressions of devotion and creativity. An example of this is the Kapampangan Lubenas, a 9-day religious observance leading up to Christmas. Now, the term Lubenas is actually derived by combining the Spanish words luz or light and novena or 9 days of prayer. Luz, novena. Lubenas. But despite this Spanish etymology, the Lubenas was distinctly Kapampangan. In fact, the parols used in Lubenas in these processions can trace some of the roots all the way back to Villa de Bacolor's Fiesta de la Naval, a solemn celebration of gratitude for the Spanish Kapampangan victory against the Dutch during the historic battles of La Naval de Manila in the 1600s. And you can learn more about this in my other video. Now, over time, these lanterns or parol became central to Bacolor's Lubenas processions, symbolizing faith and offering guidance through the darkness, as the community came together in devotion. And soon Lubenas would spread across the many towns of the vast province of La Pampanga, which used to cover pretty much what are now the provinces of Central Luzon. For example, by the 1800s, my birthplace, Angeles City or Culiat, had developed its own distinct Lubenas tradition, where lanterns became more intricate. These nightly processions leading up to Christmas, or limbun in Kapampangan, brought our streets to life with intricately crafted lanterns or parols, showcasing Kapampangan artistry and spirituality. And if you look at it, this creativity of Micah Belen is evident in our traditional Parol Angeleño, which features intricate, handmade lace patterns meticulously crafted by our culture bearers. Now, these Parol Angeleño are also distinct in their diverse and symbolic shapes. For example, fish represented prosperity, sheep and lambs symbolized humility, and doves embodied peace and hope for the future. Now, these designs reflect the unique creativity and the spiritual values that have shaped our lantern-making traditions over generations through the centuries. Now, back in the day, parols were not actually for sale. Parols were made at home by families, gathering together, with the children watching their elders and learning from them how to create their parol. And throughout history, lantern making was a communal effort. Families and even neighbors worked together, sharing skills and passing down techniques. And it was not just about crafting decorations. It was a cultural activity that strengthened bonds of community and celebrated shared heritage. I still remember joining Lubenas as a child, holding my own lantern. Walking the streets lit by parols was not just beautiful. It honestly felt like being a part of something much larger. a connection to both faith and our much deeper roots. And as we can see, the parol that we know today, this parol, was not born in a single day. It evolved through centuries of artistry, creativity, innovation, and the boundless imagination and ingenuity of our people. And in fact, it continues to evolve to this very day. The modern-day parol is often linked to Francisco Estanislao, a Kapampangan artist who is credited with crafting one of the earliest recorded star-shaped Christmas lanterns or parol in 1908. Using bamboo and papel de hapon, Estanislao's lantern was simple yet elegant, embodying both artistry and practicality. This creation set a standard that inspired a new wave of parol making, and thus solidifying the parol's association with Christmas and the Star of Bethlehem. During the early 1900s, the parol began evolving into the works of art we are familiar with today. The advent of electricity revolutionized parol making even further. Artisans began embedding electric light bulbs into their designs, enabling brighter and more dynamic displays. And this allowed for intricate patterns, vibrant colors, and even synchronized light movements, transforming the parol into a dazzling holiday centerpiece. Now around this time, the rotor was invented by Rodolfo David of Barrio Santa Lucia in San Fernando. This remarkable mechanism allowed the lights of the lanterns to dance in intricate patterns, a mechanism that are actually still used in today's giant parols. And this era of innovation also saw the rise of the Ligligan Parol, or Giant Lantern Festival in San Fernando. Now unknown to many, the Ligligan Parol can actually trace its roots all the way back to Bacolor, to the much older Lubenas procession. So by the time electric lights became accessible, the humble lanterns of the Lubenas evolved into larger, more elaborate designs that we now find in the Ligligan Parol, or Giant Lantern Festival. And this festival became a platform for communities to showcase their creativity and craftsmanship. And through the years, lanterns grew much larger and more complex, while still maintaining traditional design elements like the central drum or tambur, symbolizing unity, the siku-siku or star angles, representing radiance, and the palimbun or the outer ring reflecting communal flow, symbolizing unity and connection. It is worth noting that the descendants of Francisco Estanislao have carried on his legacy, and this included the Davids, such as Kong Ernesto David Kiwa, whose innovations brought the parol to global prominence. And today, as mentioned earlier, the Ligligan Parol is a world-renowned event featuring lanterns towering over 20 feet tall, with thousands of synchronized light bulbs. And each creation is a masterpiece, reflecting the collaborative efforts of artisans, families, and barangays. And if you think about it, from its early bamboo, candle, and paper beginnings to the electrified, gigantic spectacles of today, the parol's evolution is a shining example of our people's resilience and creativity, a tradition that continues to inspire and bring people together year after year. You know, as a little boy, I remember being overwhelmed by these gigantic parols, but seeing these modern parols with synchronized lights reminds me of how far we've come as a people, yet the spirit of light, hope, and unity stays the same. So if you think about it, the parol is not just a simple lantern. It is a bright reflection, a colorful reflection of our people's boundless imagination, culture, ingenuity, and lasting traditions. The parol story reflects the enduring creativity and adaptability of the Filipino people. Rooted in meaningful spiritual traditions, the parol has transformed through the centuries, blending indigenous cultures with Catholic practices and evolving into the vibrant symbol of Christmas we know today. And across generations, the parol has united communities, from the rituals honoring our ancestors to the solemn Lubenas processions and the grand, dynamic festivals of today. It is not only a holiday decoration, but a living tradition that celebrates the Filipino spirit of resilience, faith, and ingenuity. And while the star-shaped parol is iconic, our diverse traditional shapes and forms like fish, doves, and lambs showcase the boundless creativity of its makers. And even in times of adversity, the parol has been a testament to our people's resilience. For example, after the devastation of the 1991 Mount Pinatubo eruption or the Typhoon Yolanda or Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, parol makers adapted by using recycled materials like plastic to keep the spirit of Christmas alive. This ingenuity reflects the strength of our people, the strength of our communities determined to rebuild and shine, even in the darkest of times. And for Filipinos abroad, the parol also carries deeper meanings. More than just a decoration, it is a piece of home, a reminder of our roots that bridges the stories of our past with the dreams of our future, bringing warmth and connection to faraway places. Today, modern parols blend tradition with innovation, incorporating traditional materials like piece shells with plastic and LED lights, and thus creating dazzling and dancing lights with synchronized music and intricate animations. Yet despite these advancements and innovations, the essence of the parol remains unchanged. Throughout the centuries, at its heart, the parol remains a beacon of light, an enduring symbol of hope, resilience, and creativity that continues to unite and inspire our people. Because the parol is, more than just a lantern. It is a light that connects us to our past, unites us in the present, and lights the path towards a brighter future. So to everyone celebrating Christmas in the Philippines or across the diaspora around the world, maligayang Pasko po sa inyong lahat, or in Kapampangan, Paskong mayaping dispo kay Hongan, and in Cebuano, maayong Pasko sa inyong tanan. And honestly, there's a lot more to explore, so much more that not everything will fit in a single YouTube video like this. So if there's anything that I missed, or anything that you want to add from your own cultures and backgrounds, let us know in the comments below. Let us all learn from one another. And if you find this video insightful, if you learned a thing or two, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to learn more about our people's histories, cultures, and everything in between. Today's video is brought to you by you. I'm incredibly grateful to my subscribers, patrons, and viewers like you for continuing to support my channel over the past 12 years. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to join our growing community by becoming a member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. And you can also grab copies of any of my books, coloring books, ebooks, and merch, all about the rich history and colorful cultures of the Philippines and Southeast Asia. So check out the links below for more information. Maraming salamat po, o in Kapampangan, dakal pong salamat kay Hongan, and in Pangasinan, balbalag kay salamat. See you next time when Tagalog kita kits, and in Kapampangan, Mikitix, and in Binisaya, kita aita.